take me abroad. Gather my conscience, restore my comfort. Velfjord, show me to your divine sense of peace, your unique law. I pray to wash those prayers up your shoulder. Now they lie in your beaches and pressed in your soil. I hope that I'll see you again. Hope you're not a long distance friend getting forgotten. But it's love to wish to be welcome. But then I can try to pretend that I don't, but that's not an option. Gather people, share spirit of song. I'm not quite there in person, but the show must go on. Oh, and it won't stop me, my journey of being. Oh, it won't stop me, my journey of being. Take me abroad. Gather my conscience, restore my comfort.
Nice. Yeah, that was lovely. Thank you, Harry.
Ah, thank you.
Welcome to Ianto, Wales and beyond. It's a pleasure
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you here.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, wow, I really enjoyed that.
Ah, thank you.
So Harry, just give your. I know you're gonna today. We're gonna be. It's more on a musical level, so you're gonna be playing a few songs and stuff, which I believe haven't been. They haven't been released yet. So we're very honoured that you're sharing them here with us in this space. So yeah, can you give the audience a little bit of a, I don't know if you want to talk about your inspirations, music, your background, I'll leave it totally up to you, my friend.
Awesome. Well, there we go. I'm Harry. Uh, really grateful to be here. What a lovely way to spend an afternoon, hey, having a chat with yourself. Musically, I go by the name Smoo, Smoo. But as you say, not released yet. This music, 2026 is the year of release for this project, which I'm really excited for. Been working quite hard behind the scenes, getting the stuff recorded and created. So yeah, very excited to release this year. We had the pleasure of meeting a couple of years ago, I think, 2 years ago, at a festival in Wales, not too far away from Llangollen, where we were sharing music around the fire. That's how we connected, and well, this music didn't exist at that point, at that event, and so I suppose it's a culmination of life and people that has inspired it since. Maybe we'll save that for a bit later. Get into that a bit later. What inspires
Yeah,
music?
yeah.
But yeah, I've lived. I'm here in Liverpool. I've lived here. 2019, I moved here. Came to study music at university, and couldn't leave afterwards. Met a wonderful, wonderful community of musicians. Liverpool's got a beautiful, like, local feel to it, and I started watching gigs and making friends with a lot of musicians, and then became a part of that community and started playing a lot on the jazz scene, and working with some wonderful, wonderful people, playing with some wonderful people, writing music, improvising. Learning an awful lot in the 6 years that I've been here, and yeah, that's where I find myself today. Still writing, still creating. Projects have come and gone, and this is the project of the moment that I'm playing today. I've also gone on to the other side of the fence now. I'm now an educator in music, teaching music in the classroom. So I've really got nothing to complain about, have I?
Yeah, yeah.
My job in my personal life, my creative life, and my work life all centers around sound, music, and feeling sound, and it's a bit of a privilege, I suppose. Yeah, feel lucky, feel blessed for that.
Yeah, man. Very nice. Thank you for sharing that, my friend. Yeah, thank you. And it's a privilege to have you on as well. It's nice that we kept in contact after meeting at the festival as well, and I like that as well. So,
Yeah,
thank
well,
you so much for coming on. And this will be a nice, really relaxed podcast for people on a Sunday, and that's the whole idea. And
awesome.
we get to showcase your voice, which I've
Well,
always been impressed with. So,
Wales is Wales and beyond. Obviously, I came to Liverpool 6 years ago, but I'd never been to Wales at all up until that
right,
point,
okay.
and I've discovered a whole new country that was absolutely beautiful. I've
Yeah.
met a lot of wonderful people in Wales, which wouldn't have happened if I didn't move here. So it's exciting to be on a podcast with that name. Funnily, I shouldn't really say this. I'm a bit embarrassed to say this, but before I moved to Liverpool, I was speaking to my mum and dad, and I said, I can't believe I'm moving to Wales. And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm moving to Wales. Isn't that crazy? And they were like, no, you're not. So little 18-year-old me had a thought, for some reason, thought that Liverpool was in Wales. I know it's right next door, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, I'd like to think
Yeah.
I've become more intelligent than that moment.
Well, I think, the connection between Irish and Welsh people, I think it was the sort of like core element of how Liverpool came about. So it's like,
Mm,
there is a big connection between the Welsh and Liverpool.
yeah,
So,
of course.
and here we are adding to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna give us another tune now?
Yeah, let's play another song. I've so all of the songs on the guitar that I'm playing today um, are going to be released later on in the year. Um, I'm
Oh,
currently
really?
working with one of those wonderful people that I mentioned. We were arranging these songs for a full band at the minute, so it's going to be guitarist, keys, vocals, double bass, cello, and Reed's a fantastic clarinet player. So we're really enjoying that process at the minute. I'm looking forward to playing them without having to play the guitar. I'm a bit of a blag guitarist, but I think the fun bit about these songs is that each of them is in a completely different guitar tuning. So I've got to retune my guitar, which has been an awful lot of fun playing live. Kind of creates this beautiful moment of awkwardness
Yeah, yeah,
where I've got
yeah.
to focus on this, and the audience are just sitting there listening to me tune. So we can all revel in that awkwardness together. Hey. Lovely.
Nice.
Stories escape straight out in a street. Time push away tale after tale. Tales that have spread across the water. Tales of a man's transparency. Nice one for listening. Mercy make man, man earth make mercy. Help one to heal an inner child. Spilling a secret to the water. Trading a thought with no disguise. Oh, location point 39. Lucky for a third time. Oh, thank you, Miss Stream Mercy. Ever a stone's throw vicinity, an all-encompassing light show. You have the monopoly. Oh, a checkpoint of a lifetime. Location point 39. Lucky for a third time. I sure as shit hope so. Oh, location point 39. Oh, oh, location point 39. Oh, location point 39. Awesome.
Nice.
Oh, it takes a bit of focus, that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, I don't know how clear my diction was there, but I mentioned the River Mersey a few times in that song. That's quite, yeah, quite blatantly inspired by not just Liverpool, but over the time I've lived here, I've always gravitated towards the River Mersey. I've lived in different points along it, and now I find myself right at the bottom of it in South Liverpool. But it's a really fantastic part of the city, being able to go down to that river, and it's a fantastic source of nature and connection to the real world, which is quite hard to get in cities, of course. So it's a bit of a thank you to all of the spots along the river, where I've pretty much made every sort of major life decision that I've had to make. And if I ever need to go and sit with myself and ponder and write things down, or listen to music that I've made or other people have made, and or go hang out with friends, have a meaningful conversation. Pretty much always done it by that river. Um, so it's a bit of a ode to the River Mersey, and it was a lovely moment when I'd finished writing it, got a recording of it, and went down to the river, listened to it, and soaking it all in, and yeah, that was a cool moment. It's I think Liverpool's got the best sunset that I've ever seen of any place ever.
Oh,
Which
okay.
the sunsets perfectly over the Wirral and Wales. Probably just about see where you are. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's always an amazing sunset at that river. Yeah, when I first moved
Nice.
here, I came up with the theory that it's because there's a lot of happiness and a lot of joy in the people here, and that radiates up into the sky. And then when the sun sets, it just goes
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
too, which is a nice
I don't
theory.
think I've experienced the sunset in Liverpool. That's something that I need to, that's something to do again.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it'll
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, just so a lot of your songs have they been written lately, or are these some of the songs that you wrote when you were younger? You
No,
know,
these
'cause-
these particular ones are
okay,
pretty recent creations. So over the course of a year or two, I'd throw my guitar into random tunings, work out
okay,
some chord shapes, see what sticks really. Yeah, I like to think this record in particular is it's you're kind of listening to my therapy in a way. I wrote these songs for self therapy. Didn't write them for you know didn't write them for any other reason than felt right for them to come out. It's self regulation. So the point of me sharing them and feeling comfortable to be at a point where I share them is they mean something to me, and they could mean something to you, they could not. But as a consumer of music, like it's such a special feeling when I go to a concert, when I go to a festival, and I receive someone's music, and it inspires so much feeling, emotion within me. It could be deep, it could not be, it could just be joyous and a smile. Um, so if I can do that for one person who ends up listening to my music, then amazing.
that's so nice. Yeah, yeah, so nice. Yeah. I've been listening to the tracks that you've sent me actually, and I feel them and I like them. I love the lyrics, and they're very poignant, and yeah, you can relate to them, and you know,
Oh, there we
they're
go. It's all
nice.
worth it then.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I love that creative process that we have. I write poetry, but I sort of write songs, but mostly in Welsh,
Mm.
but I haven't yet. I've got one here actually, but so I'm getting there with recording it and things. So I'm not
Awesome.
at uh, you're further down the journey than I am. But it is something that I think is a good way of expressing ourselves and to get things out and stuff. So
Mm. Yeah,
I get
absolutely.
that. And thank you so much for sharing that as well with us. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll have to. We've spoken on the phone recently, haven't you? Yeah, I'd love to listen to some of your music, some of your Welsh poetry too. I sadly won't have the foggiest what
Yeah,
it will
that's
be,
the
but
thing, isn't it? They don't sound the same when they're translated either. That's the thing. You lose the essence a little bit. You
mm,
know.
yeah, I know one word in Welsh, which is araf, which I'm
Okay.
assuming means slow because it's written all over the
Yes.
roads on the chords in the
I know.
in
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we say F with the V, so Arav,
Arav. Okay, there we are.
Arav. Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Stand corrected, hey.
Yeah, you're doing well. Okay. Yeah. It's not the easiest language to learn, by the way, is it? You know.
No, it does sound very beautiful though, I have to say. But
I think so. You know, there's some good folk singers here, and I love listening to them as well. So
mm,
yeah, it's nice. It's
also
nice.
have to send me some recommendations to listen to.
Yeah, well, there's Eve Goodman. She's really good. I'd like to get her on the show one day as well. She's a local folk singer here.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I think you'd like her music. She sings in English as well, actually. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
well, who knows? Maybe one day there'll be a lovely gig that we all play.
yeah, that would be really cool to try and organize something like that actually in the
Mm,
future. Yeah,
yeah.
it would. Yeah, definitely,
Once
definitely.
once we're through this rather tough winter.
Yes, prolonged.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the nicest here today actually, but there we are.
Yeah.
We've got this nice space here, aren't we? And we're going to create a lovely Sunday vibe. So,
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
okay. So another song, if that's all
yeah, let's
right.
do it. This is a
You're
this is a
gonna have
nice
to
song.
tune the guitar.
I'll have to tune my guitar. This one might be a bit quicker. Um,
Okay.
this one was born out of a collaboration with a good friend of mine, Tom, and he bought this beautiful guitar part to me and taught it to me, and jammed it out for hours and hours, and asked me to write a melody, a vocal line over it. Um, so the lyrics I then ended up writing are reflective of that story as such. Someone delivering a package that's not quite finished, um, but also the relationship, the collaboration plays with art, and you know we had a long conversation about owning things, and you know Tom was like, well, yeah, I put these chords together, but I didn't create. I'm not the creator of those chords. I'm not the first one to play them. I'm not the last one to play them. Yeah, I put them in that order. And it's similarly with the melody that I wrote. I'm not the first person to use the structures or the form or the flow and the patterns that are being used. But that's kind of the beautiful thing about collaboration and working with people. None of it matters. Just nothing's owned. Everyone's a creator and not at the same time. It's pretty fascinating stuff. I'll shut up. I'll shut up and play the song. That's what I should do. How can this thing be breathing? A boy like organism. Creator, create is just a concept. 'Cause dead or alive, things still exist. carefully gifted thing flourish to what is meant to be, thing made to be. How can a poet be wordless, yet speak so much at the same time? A brakeless bicycle seems pointless unless you control the lights and the traffic. Avoid the lights and the traffic. Oh, is it crass? Is it no? It's not brassy, an envelope with no ink arrives without a stamp. Addressed to the bike messenger. Addressed wherever it goes, wherever.
Nice. You're an accomplished guitar player, really, Harry, as well, aren't you? You know, fair
Oh, that's
play.
sweet. It's I'll be honest, putting your guitar in open tuning is a bit of a cheat way, actually. Um, it's if you ever get lost, if you ever get stuck, just playing with your hands off makes a lovely big open chord. Um, so I can't imagine why anyone would ever want to play in standard tuning.
Yeah, yeah,
There we go.
yeah. That was a lovely tune. So, what inspired that one then?
So yeah, like I said, that was the chords there were written by a friend of mine,
That's
and
right. Yeah, you put it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and yeah, we kind of went from there. That's what the song ended up being
yeah.
about. Um, it's a very interesting thing. As you can say, the practice of music is quite broad. There's loads and loads of things that come within that. It involves improvisation, expression, technology, creating performance spaces, collaborating. Um, there's a whole philosophical argument to be had for every single one of those things, and there's a practice for each of those things as well. It's each one of them takes its own particular skill, and yeah, not improvise. Well, I'll get onto that in a bit, maybe actually, but collaboration's been been at the forefront of the past 2 or 3 years. Um, that's where I've
I was going to ask you, do you come from a musical background then? You know?
Yeah, I mean, well, I was very lucky that I played music from a very young age.
Oh,
I grew up in West Sussex, um,
okay.
down in the south of England, and I was lucky enough to have some really really good quality instrument lessons from a young age, especially on the piano. I had some fantastic piano teachers, um, and then I got to. It's probably when I was about 16 or 17 that I was like, oh, I can. if instead of reading all these notes and instead of reading music that other people have written, that I keep getting wrong. I haven't got the patience to learn this really really hard piece of music, despite how beautiful it is. So why don't I just start making up the music, and then I can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
um, and then that turned into practice. Really, I started making some pretty awful music, aged 17, 18. Um, you know, there's a wonderful analogy when it comes to songwriting. Like it's like an old tap. You've got to turn it on, let the muddy water flow before clean water comes out. My God, is that true? I've got some embarrassing skeletons in the closet musically. Um, and then yeah, like I say, moved to Liverpool. Was in a project, a sort of a experimental world jazz fusion project for quite a few years, called Old Vine. And we had loads of fun playing gigs. Really got the party going in some places. All this music, it feels right now, and it feels very authentic. Um, so I do believe it's taken 25 years of hard work living to be able to have those formulate.
Is jazz your passion then?
Um, no, I've got one of them. Yeah, one of them. I love playing jazz music but jazz folk, ambient. I love making ambient music. I spend hours and hours and hours, and all the spare pennies I have on new bits of equipment. And yeah, jazz folk and ambient. That's where I sit really. But then music with any kind of emotion in it too. I'm a big fan of post rock and crescendo core and metal. I'll really listen to anything and go to festivals and events from anything. Um, Although I was having this conversation the other day with someone, um, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I like all music," and they said, "Oh, I really like house music," and I went, "Oh, actually, I'm not quite sure I like house music, not the modern kind, anyway." Um, but anything, like I said at the start, any sound, humans gathering together in a field in front of speakers or a performer, and that's where the power is. Um, so
Yeah, yeah,
I don't really care what the music is if it speaks to a whole group of people, and we're in this one big collective moment together, and that's wicked, isn't it?
I think that's what I like about festivals. Like it's very impromptu, isn't it? It's very, people just get a guitar, someone else is drumming, and you've got a fire, and you just, I think that's when I first heard you and a couple of other people, and I thought it was just so cool, it's so nice, and people just join in, and even people just singing the chorus with each other and stuff, it's
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
that's fun, isn't it?
it is fun. Yeah, yeah. I love all that sort of festival vibey stuff. It's great. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm, yeah.
So yeah, I've spoken a fair bit about that project. Um, that that's hopefully going to be released in the summertime. Fingers crossed.
Will that be out on? Are you gonna share it on like a platform, or is it gonna be more formal, or
Yeah,
what's?
they'll all be available on Bandcamp. Um, there's a huge mass exodus of musicians leaving Spotify, which I'm completely in support of, and I'm
The
going to
reason
be.
why?
Yeah, well, there are quite a lot of reasons. I mean, firstly, they're funding nasty parts of wars that are happening. There's a big connection there. But I mean, also there's a real growing consciousness and awareness of how the music industry has shifted to not actually support artists, and revenue streams that come from Spotify are nothing, and there's now AI bots that are making music on Spotify that's taking what little revenue streams exist, and that's mostly that growing consciousness of people wanting to support musicians a bit more. So there's another platform called Bandcamp, um, which is a wonderful platform. You know, you'll be able to listen to all of this music for free on there, um, but you'll also be able to buy it and own it, for as much or as little as you like. Really, you know, that's up to the artist. They can put their album up, and like I say, it's free to listen to. But if people want to spend a fiver on it, then that means they own it, physical copy, or digital physical copy.
They can sort of download it then onto their phone or something.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
the
yeah. And
process?
then
Yeah.
we're gonna make some CDs um, and various little bits like that to go alongside it. I'm a big fan of CDs.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
most cars still have,
Physical.
don't they?
Yeah, yeah. I remember the days of the vinyl, you know what I mean?
Say that again. Sorry.
The days of the vinyl, you know?
Yeah, well, that's dead. Yeah, that's. I'd love to print some of these to vinyl. Hey, it's
Yeah.
depends how many Bandcamp sales I get originally. Maybe if I make any money off it, I'll put it back into to a
Yeah.
vinyl.
Do they commission off that platform? Do they pay commission as well? Do they sort of giving you some revenue as well?
Oh, yeah. So it's something like I don't know the exact percentage, but 85-90% goes to the artist.
Oh, well, that's better, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they do once every month as a Bandcamp Friday, where 100% of costs go to the artist. So they're made to support artists really, and
Yeah.
the community around it's growing. Community of musicians, people, consumers, listeners. It's growing.
I'm sure there'll be some people who are into music listening to this, or you probably set them on that little path as well, you know.
Hopefully, that would be cool.
Yeah, because people, I guess, will take that on board that are aware of maybe of that platform, you know.
Yeah,
It all helps.
yeah. So that this record is that one's going to be called A Different Way. And the reason for that is because I'm releasing a record shortly, in the next month or two. Hopefully, it's finished. I just need to. I've got a friend of mine making some art for it, and I'm working out what order I'm going to put it in. But this record's called Not the Way, but a Way. Um, so not the way, but a way. And if you say it quick enough, it sounds like gibberish, which I quite like. So not the way, but a way, followed by a different way in a few months' time. So this one is a. It's quite difficult to explain. It's kind of like a experimental piano record, neo-romantic, ambient, technological, bleepy bloopy piano record. So it's really really proud of it. I only got it back from the studio last week actually, and it was in a wonderful studio on this big beautiful grand piano with some fantastic recording equipment, and we set up one of the mics through this little box I've got, which is called a drifting memory station, and it's essentially just like a generative sampler. So it will take a little bit of signal that I record into it and do an expansive list of crazy things to it. Um,
Oh,
so that record is just a day of pure improvisation in the studio, and we got 2.5 hours of you know pieces, finished compositions that were improvised, and I've been shifting through them, and we've been producing them, mixing them, and we've landed on the final set. Um, yeah, it's a nice balance between ambient music and some pretty expressive, weird moments as well. Um, but yeah, hence the sort of connection with the two names, not the way, but a way, and then a different way. And then the idea is once I've sort of cleaned my creative conscious this year, and those two records are out, and I want to fuse the two of them together, and have a guitar and experimental sort of synthesis and vocal thing happening at the same time. And that one's going to be called All the Ways Together at the Same Time. But I'm yet to write it yet. So that could
Nice.
be, who knows when that's going to be done, eh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it.
That's the idea, anyhow. But I'd like to play you a piano piece, if I may.
Of course, yeah, yeah. Feel
Um,
free.
yeah, unfortunately, the way I've set all this up and the way this is all plugged in means my back's going to be turned to you. Um, so I can only apologise for that. But
It's the content that counts as well. So, fantastic.
all right.
We're
Well,
grateful.
yeah, we'll see where this one takes us, I suppose.
Yeah.
you can imagine how much fun I have doing that for hours and hours and hours on end.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I guess there's so many different variations of that you could just
Yeah.
explore and can't you create?
Now, there's no such thing as a bad day when that exists. Even if I've had an absolute rotter, I can
Yeah,
just
yeah,
go sit there for like 2 hours.
yeah, yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what are your aspirations now as a musician then, moving forward? I guess it's just getting these songs out this year, and do you plan on doing any festivals and concerts? Are you doing gigs at the moment in Liverpool? That type of stuff. Can people see
Yeah,
you anywhere?
that's the dream. Is play as many festivals as possible. Really, I've all my eggs are in the focus on getting this released basket at the minute, which is quite a big job. Um, and then gig as much as possible. I play around Liverpool a fair bit. Um, I haven't made an effort to book any gigs for the since 2026, so I can focus on focus on getting things released. But for sure, there'll be a release gig for each record. Um, where or when, I'm not 100% sure yet. Um, but if you follow my Instagram, that's a really good way to keep up to date with what I'm doing. I will get round to transferring all this to Facebook. That's on the to-do list. Um,
Okay, so basically, if people want to try and follow you, it's through Instagram's the best medium, is it?
at the minute, yeah, I will. I will get myself a Facebook page as well. But yeah, if you type in Smoo, SMOO, that's uh, that's where you find all of my music. I put my gigs on there,
Okay.
um, and well, yeah, in a couple of months' time, you can type that into Bandcamp. Something will pop up, and then yeah, hopefully play as many gigs as possible. But just carry on living and breathing music. There's so much to understand. There's so much about the psychology of creativity that I need to carry on learning about, and um, you know that'll impact and benefit my projects, and hopefully can translate that into a classroom and carry on teaching, spreading the word of music. Um, that's the aspiration, really.
You enjoy teaching, Harry?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's really there's some fantastic moments. There really are. Some tough moments, but some very fantastic ones as
Is
well.
this in a secondary school? Is this in a college? Or
It's in a secondary school, so I'm only in my second year of teaching. But yeah, I'm in a secondary school, and I'm putting a lot of you know following following schemes and things like that, but putting a lot of emphasis into the how music makes us feel. What's the difference between listening and hearing? Um, how can I listen to an emotion that's sparked from that music? What did this musician and composer have in mind when they were creating this? You know, why does this music sound angry? Why does it not sound angry to you? There's so many interesting questions and things to explore within music. So yeah, get a better understand. Well, carry on developing my understanding of that is my aspirations for the next year. That's where I see
do
2026
more
going.
and more children these days choose music as as a medium in school? What's it like in the curriculum and things these days? Is it popular? Do you find there's more musicians these days? Or...
Yeah, there's yeah. I think no matter where you go, there's always going to be people interested in music. That's my job, isn't it? To provide the opportunity for people to realize that exists, and that's something that they can do. Um, and yeah, we've got a lovely little choir going at school, and there's a couple of
Yeah,
rock bands, some fantastic compositions as well. It's a joy to be a part of.
yeah, excellent. Are you going to play us out, or what's your plan now?
Um, I
Or is
wasn't
that
planning on. Hey, maybe finding my records in either a month's time for the piano one or a few months' time
yeah, yeah, okay.
for the guitar stuff. That's how you can hear more.
Yeah, well, we'll have you on again. When you've got everything ready and stuff, we'll have you on again, and then we can have all the links ready then
Awesome.
for
Yeah,
where
that
people
sounds
can listen and what have you, and participate in your music.
yeah
And hopefully there'll be some gigs that we can pencil in as well. I'll come and see you myself. So
yeah there will be for sure. There'll be some gigs. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Harry, I'm really grateful that you've joined us today and for your time and for sharing your music. And I'm sure the audience is going to love this on a Sunday. It's going to be nice and chilled and relaxed and just what
yeah.
you need on a Sunday.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening to me ramble on for close to an hour. Um,
All good.
yeah, that's
Yeah. All right.
definitely
Well, this has been Ianto, Wales and Beyond, and we've had the pleasure of having Harry Simmonds here, and we look forward to having you on again, Harry. And best wishes with everything in your life.
awesome. And to you.
And we keep in touch, don't we? And yeah, we'll share the space again, my friend.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
No blessings. Thank you.
Cool.
Take care. It's, yeah, I can edit.
We gone.